Here we are, Path of Achra, in all of its MS Paint glory. So yes, this is an ASCII art game, so very old, like Dwarf Fortress esque art styles to it. All right. Let's see. I haven't touched this in a while. So let's see. I've I've got everything unlocked. It does not take that long to unlock everything. You pretty much unlock things every time you do a run of this game, so it can go by pretty quickly. Everything that's got like a little purple star next to it is something that I've won a playthrough using. So up here we've got the races. Down here we've got the classes. And down here you have the gods, which give you certain benefits and also come with prayers that can do things using a prayer resource. And yes, I am of course on the 7th cycle of Apocalypse. And yeah, so it's like first cycle of humility, second cycle of degradation, third cycle of hope, fourth cycle of despair, fifth cycle of enlightenment, sixth cycle of annihilation, and the seventh cycle of apocalypse. I don't actually know what this number next to there is. I don't think I've ever figured that out. I could probably actually just look that up real quick. Because I don't really remember there being any indicator. Um, huh. Hmm. Okay, well, I mean, I at least knew that part. I mean, this a little bit. I see. Okay, so yeah, the number down there does not mean anything anymore. That's supposed to be a glory counter, which is something. It's a resource you earn uh, in Path of Achra, and I guess at the end of playthroughs, the glory you still have gets added to that number. Uh, and the whole deal is every time you hit 10 glory, you unlock a new thing. This number is way past 10 though, and that's because I have unlocked everything and have kept playing past that point. Outside of that, yeah, 7th cycle of apocalypse. The whole deal with this is enemies have their stats multiplied by whatever number the cycle is, which adds to the difficulty. So, yeah. Um, right. Hmm. I could try doing a build I've done before and see how far I can just go with it. Yeah, there's this one. This, I believe, was my first successful build, was, yeah, a Elijah Amir of Formus. So, yeah, it's like a nomadic traveler, smites enemies through prayer, you get all these stats, some psychic resistance, and on entrance means every time you enter a battle map. So I enter a battle map, I get 1 charge to each known prayer. On prayer, perform a hit against 1 enemy in a 2-tile range. So everything's set up in tiles for movements. It's your generic sort of tactical RPG movement. Hit just means whatever your basic attack is. So whatever weapon you happen to be using. I mean, it does show down there. Hit damage equals your main hand hit. And so you hit people within 2 tile range every time you pray. It's very basic, very early on sort of deal. And yeah, Amir has a whole thing where you get little helpers called familiars, which are supposed to be like one of the 2 types of summons that exist in the game. You have like familiars and you have minions, I think. I just know that there's sort of like a separation between the 2, like a split, and they count for different things. Familiars, I believe, tend to be more powerful than minions, but minions you can summon faster, usually. I don't know. I don't truly know all that much. But yeah, so yeah, with this guy, or with this class, you summon nomads, or there's little guys throwing little bronze spears, and yeah, you got some math down there of 1 plus glory divided by 5. So as you're growing in level, because glory is your levels. That's the resources I'm remembering now. It's like instead of being level 1, your glory is 1. So as you go up in levels, you start summoning more and more of these guys up to a maximum of 10. Which of course would be as soon as you hit level 50. Which you are not going to reach that fast. At least not on early levels. Maybe on higher ones. Because that is also a thing with the whole cycles. Because the stats of the enemies get boosted, but so does the experience points that these stronger enemies give you. And so the deal with this build is, yeah, you do that, you've got some summons there. And then Formus, he's like a weird ant god. And once, at the start, when you enter into a battle arena, and every turn you're in the battle area, as long as there are enemies alive, a random ant familiar will be summoned, of which there's different ones of different colors, which represent different element types. And they all just do different types of elemental damage, so you're just constantly summoning ants. And yeah, his prayers a level 1 prayer he has, which has 1 charge in it, maximum. You just, which, for the most part, it can be different sometimes, but well, actually, no, it's not different sometimes. It's different every time, because at the bottom of each prayer, it explains how you gain charges for those. And so, yeah, for this first ability, every time you enter into a new area, you get 1 charge of it. And so you do that, and it's like you always start a new battle arena fully charged with one of these. And so you can use that to summon more ants equal to the amount of ants that you have. So if you have some means of recharging your prayers faster, either through a specific class or race that does so, it would definitely make this a lot better. Probably better than this initial strategy here, because it fills up 1 charge on entrance from the race, but the prayer itself does the exact same thing, so it's kind of pointless. The second level prayer, however, has 5 charges, and yeah, you get 1 charge when an adjacent ally is damaged by an enemy. So if you got one of your little minions next to you and they get hit, you get a charge of this. You use it and you buff all your little allies, your summons, with speed and damage. And then the level 3 prayer, which 30 charges there. And it just summons a random ant. Not much else to it. And every time an ant kills something, you get a charge of it. Now, here's a thing of note when it comes to prayers. Prayers serve 2 functions. 1, they're like just special spells associated with these deities that you can use, as long as you have charges for them. 2, if you have a prayer that is fully charged, there is a chance for you to just not die when you die. You get like a second wind, essentially, that restores all of your HP, but takes away all of your charges for one of the prayers. But this thing only kicks in if a prayer is fully charged. So while it could be tempting to summon ants equal to the amount of ants you have, it could also be good to just hold on to it in order to survive a lethal blow. Even more so if you were to pick like a something like the Apostle, because the Apostle is a class that I have not tried yet, and is kind of a weird one to do, because it mostly works around killing yourself and abusing the second wind mechanic. Yeah, this is one thing that I've done before, but I feel like it would work better if I tried it with a different race. Is there one that is good with allies? Well, there's a Strand who just get an ally at the start. And every time you pray, your little ally gets stat boosts. The Saurian's also good too, as he gets to use his dexterity instead of his willpower to boost his limit on summons, because summons actually do have a limit to them. Not willpower, not familiars though. That's like the difference, is that minions, you have a summon limit on them because they tend to be easier to summon and tend to be summoned in groups, whereas familiars are summoned one at a time, usually. There's Morlocks, which I've never tried the Morlock before. Seems weird, because yeah, per empty armor slot, so gets charges in prayers, but actively damages themselves a lot. And here's the thing. You lose all your summons in between battle maps, but you don't heal yourself between battle maps. Thankfully, though, it... Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, no, a Morlock could very easily get yourself killed. I guess that's why there's charges to prayers as part of that, because the fact that you're going to need to rely on prayers to keep yourself from like completely dying. Huh. There anything else that's good with summons? Okay, so this guy summons vine spawns if he's staying still, and gains inflect resistance bonuses to resistances against magic damage of various kinds, as long as you're inflexible. Which that's a stat for like armors, where armor you wear has a flexibility to it. And a whole deal is the more inflexibility you have, the harder it is for your character to dodge things. But the more resistant to damage of various kinds they become. Mirrors are interesting because they teleport everywhere. But the problem is that you don't get to... You don't control your teleport, and you can accidentally get yourself killed by teleporting right next to an enemy. You know, a Valor kind of works, because every time an ally dies, you deal damage, and you're pumping out a lot of allies, so... Huh. You know what, that actually probably would be a good idea. Let's try that. Vota the Valir Amir of Formis. Although... I could go with the druid and just summon snakes constantly. Um, that being said, I'm not sure, because I think the nomad familiars are more powerful, because you're not constantly summoning them. But if I have snakes that are dying constantly because they're not that powerful, then my death damage thing kicks in, and it's 20% of my block, which means I should try to get a good shield. And on Divine Intervention, perform this effect 3 times. So Divine Intervention is what is the whole second wind mechanic. So if I die, but I have a fully stocked up prayer, I can, and I avoid death, then this is going to cause damage everywhere. So yeah. An orphan born in the frozen wastes channels valiant death into destructive magic. A battle chief of the Eastern Desert leads devout followers on the path of Achra. Sort of a weird mix there. So I'm like, yeah, from the frozen wastes who went to the eastern desert lands and became a chief. And I pray to Formis, the god of the cosmic anthill, whose children still dwell in the fading tunnels of the astral dark. Rewards those who summon and fight alongside his holy ants. That is quite the story. So, as this is a build I've effectively done before, just with a different race, I think I can go ahead and run this on the 7th cycle of Apocalypse. Give it a go and see how things play out. Alright, so let us start. O pilgrim, in the trench of slaughter, heed. When all nations preside, none preside. This is history. Extinction. The lone administrator, until a cowled shape, formlessness embodied, raises his hand. He raises his glimmering hand, O Achra, Volta, O sacred flood, O changed rippling earth. Dune sea exhortations of fragment. So yeah, it always starts with like this randomly generated sort of piece from a religious script. I think it's somewhat based on what your choices were for character creation, but I don't entirely know. Yeah. I need willpower, that's for sure. Glory 2. Did I already kill something somehow? Nomad hit rise. You are invigorated by the cycle. No. Okay, so I just got a free level because of how many cycles I'm in. I see. And this shows, over here, this shows what enemies and allies, just basically what's on the field. I can click on them and get some stats here. So I've got my nomad and my white ant. So yeah, pierce damage from range. So yeah, it's summoned, so per point of your current glory adds to its health and hit. Because it's a familiar, it's not limited by the amount of these I get is not limited by my willpower. But they gain more stats from my willpower. And yeah, he's got a bleeding touch. Does what is effectively a cleave with the force thing. And a bleeding aura, it's a blood themed ant. And then these are the two things that are on the board that I have to deal with, which are a green worm and a Tethic monk, which are both unknowingly powerful as starting enemies. The monks get more powerful when their allies die, which sucks. And they do corrosion, which is annoying, because corrosion does fire damage and steals your armor. And then the green worms are just fire, and their whole thing is they do ranged attacks. Anyways, I've got some points I can spend on some things. What do I want to try to build into, though? Because, yeah, I am trying to, go into a summoning thing, which, yeah, these are all the prestige classes. They've got the stars next to them, like the other one did. Oh yeah, so let's see here. I think the last time I did this build, I used Archmagus. And yeah, my whole deal was that I just stood still, summoning things constantly and attacking anything that existed on the map. Never having to get close to the enemies. Or maybe it was I don't actually remember when I won using the Liturgist. I don't think it was with this build. Huh. Before my hit against the killer, that ties in with my death stuff, so I could Could do Necromancer. Or an Oozemancer. There's always various options here. Some Pearl Mirror. On standstill, if enemies live, perform an extra attack against each adjacent Pearl Mirror. Summon a Pearl Mirror. Pearl Mirrors are immune to damage dealt by you. They're stationary mirrors summoned from pearls and ice. A Pearl Mirror being attacked, you deal astral damage to one enemy in a 4-tile range. Repeat with ice damage. Huh. I guess that's a summoning thing of sorts. And if I'm... So, summon Pearl Mirror, and I keep summoning them, and they... Since they're summoned, which means they're going to be summoned adjacent to me, or as adjacent to me as they can get, they don't move, and I effectively create a wall of these things that stop enemies from coming to me and allows me to attack anything that's next to one of these mirrors. That's a useful idea. I feel like Necromancer would be better. What do I need for it? Necrokinesis, Necromancy, Dread Legion, Grave Chant. I don't really do healing, so... Let's see. Grave Chant deals damage to myself. Or deal 25 ice damage to yourself. Deal death damage to all units in a 1 hostile range. Repeat with ice damage. On kill of a non-cadaver, summon a cadaver. On an ally attacking an enemy, you deal death damage to the target. On entrance / learn, summon a number of skeleton. Whereas archers, when I pray, I summon cadavers. That works. It will definitely boost my stuff. Not so sure about Grave Chant though, because this seems like it's might get myself killed. Unless I have a means of healing myself. Which seems to be one, but not one that's going to make up for the fact that I'm doing 25 damage to myself every turn. Unless I take Life Chant, which is costly, but it's healing, at least for now, can overcome the ice damage I deal to myself on turn 1. Or at level 1 Grave Chance. Because I think... Oh, no, wait, no. The ice damage to myself doesn't go up on Grave Chance. Never mind. So I could do that. Okay, so yeah. I'll take Life Chance. Necrokinesis, so that I will do damage every time I'm healed. And Necromancy. Because, yeah, what I need is... Oh, I just need... I don't need all of these. I just need... Oh. Oh, whoops. I think I may have messed that up a little bit. Oh, well. Yeah, I have 5 in life and 5 points put into death. I need 20 points put into any undead, of which I've only chosen undead abilities, so that's fine. Honestly, having a bunch of familiars and just flooding the field with units would probably be good, so I might as well diversify and grab all of them anyways. There's nothing wrong with that. There we go, I got another ant, and a cadaver, and some skeletons. And as you can see, I can just hold spacebar and have things gain 3 levels already. And some red ants. Oh, new ant. And yeah, they're all dead. That exit looks different. I haven't played this in a while, so I think this may have gotten at least some updates, at least some visual ones. I don't need to heal, so I'm just going to set this to automatically boost my willpower every time I level up. Man, these guys are getting shredded. But annoyingly, the more these guys get shredded, the more tankier the guys that are still left become because of how they work. Oh, new ants have dropped. So yeah, red ants are fire, violet ants are astral damage. Black ants are poison. Alright, I got a bunch of levels. Alright, let's see. Got 1 point into Grave Chance and 1 point into Dread Allegiance. Now, this is the last level of this stage. You can tell because there's these bags here, which are going to contain loot that I can grab at the end. Or I could grab now, but I don't want to. I want to stand still. Standing still is the strategy. I didn't even see what happened. That That green worm just instantly annihilated, wiped from existence in the blink of an eye. I didn't even get to see the thing. Like, what happened? I stood still. The honored dead attacked the green worm and hit him for 619 damage. Cursed the green worm for 619. I cursed the green worm as well. Oh, dead attacks the green worm. Hits. Honor dead curses it. Why? Because it got it. It gets to attack twice basically, and it just instantly nuked the thing. I think that's how it works. On an enemy stepping into an adjacent tile, perform an extra attack against the enemy. Okay, so yeah, the green worm just sort of stepped up, which caused the honored dead to counterattack, and then, or attack of opportunity essentially, and then he attacked again, and it just instantly died. Warhammer, Robe of Vigor, something, Handler. What are these things that I have acquired? By the way, I need my block to go up because that's what boosts my damage to hurt things when they kill my allies. So let's see, what do we got? Got a Warhammer, that's pointless to me, so I will sacrifice that, which will boost my max HP. Robe of Vigor. Summoned allies gain 10% of my max life. On raising your Vigor, gain 50 max life. On standstill, all allies gain 50 max life. Heal all allies for 50. That is amazing. Put that on me immediately. Chidera. Resist death. On standstill, deal death damage to the closest enemy. On an ally attacking enemy, you apply 2 doom to the target. Yes, please. Man, I am eating good for this first little thing. Alright, Pylum is giving me 6 block, and on attack allies gain plus 10 hits. Which the attack doesn't necessarily have to be from my weapon. Any attack I do is going to boost that, and I have plenty of other ways of hitting things from a distance. This is like a thrown weapon of some kind. On attack, blind your target. Blind applied equals my dexterity. Ah, it's blind stacks, I see. Not really good as a weapon, but it's going to boost my block if I wield it, so, you know, that helps. At least until I can get a shield. So now here we are. Here is the map of the Path of Achra that it gives me. It shows ahead of time what monsters I will face in the area and what treasure exists at the end. So yeah, this has more Tathic monks and has gore idols, which gore idols are tanky little things that can't move, but do summon things, I believe. And what I get out of it is a crow visage, which is useless to me because I'm not going for the crow build. Chakrams, which also not useful to me because I'm not doing a teleport build. That's not useful either. This, however, I get more block, which means more damage. Those are pointless. Pointless, pointless, also pointless. So we're going down to the desert. Apparently, I gained a level. Level up some our necromancy, get more skeletons out here. My armies of skeletons, ants, and little guys. Oh. Let's change it up. Make the background look appropriate. And also level this up. Get my necromancy up some more. Alright, and I've gotten the loot. Don't need you. There we go. Double shield, sort of. I guess this is more of a discus that I'm throwing, but it kind of works. It's more of a shield than my spear is. Resists ice, resists psychic on dealing ice damage. I don't really deal ice damage, so... I deal ice damage to myself, which doesn't really help with the ability the pants give me. So now, yeah, I've got my options again. I have this thing, the Green Tower. Towers are like special dungeons that have stronger enemies in them, but a lot more loot, and tend to be higher level loot than usual. If I get the ice gloves, I start summoning living ice, which is just more minions. Everything else just kind of sucks. At least for this build, so... Green Tower it is. Summon some ants. Although I really should hold off on summoning the ants until I have a lot more ants on the field. Well, I've got my soldiers out front. My skeletons, nomads, my ant. And what do we got? We got ratmen. And ratmen with throwing spears. And some imps. A demon wretch exiled. I forgot that these things had a little lore here. Demon wretch exiled from the infernal plane now spreads blight in service of a death drake. Humanoid rodent that lives in swarming colonies. It's like you little skaven. Ah, so the rat men, when they spawn in, summon the rat men with spears. And... oh. Huh. I could get the Wormborn instead. On entrance, summon 10 crawlers. On being attacked, summon 2 crawlers. Per summoned ally, plus 5 speed. Hit and block scales off of equipped weapon. Flat dex bonuses. Huh. That's interesting, but I don't benefit from any of those because I'm not going into battle myself. I'm sending my minions to do it for me. Which is where Necromancer comes in. The guys who melted that green dragon. Or, sorry, green worm. You know, I think I'm... You know what? I leveled up as soon as I walked into here. I think I have gotten to the point where I'm doing damage. I think I might have missed something. I think I'm doing damage every time I summon something. And because I'm summoning so many things at the start, I'm killing things before turn 1 even starts. And that's giving me levels. Let's see. Yeah, summon, summon, summon. Huh. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't know. I've done a build like that before where I just summon things, and summoning things causes damage. Right, that was my Archmagus build, because that's how that works, is with the astral magic. There's a thing in there that caused me to do damage every time I summon, and it just became sort of like a summon damage spiral. Let's see. On ally or enemy death, a random allied undead gains on entrance / learn some number of honored dead. You know what? Yeah. I'll put some points into there. Get my undead skills up to like 4 before I start touching other stuff. Yeah, also I sort of forgot. And you may notice that the tower is taking longer to go through than a normal level. Or than a normal region. Which I guess adds to the whole thing that the towers are sort of like dungeons of sorts. Alright, the golden litter is raised, shimmering light, strange heats. Yep. So that little indicator there that just happened indicates that there is a boss fight, which means I'm at the end of this of the tower. Let's see what we got. Hold on. the Black Ant for the Nomad. Honor Dead with the Cursed Lance. Skeleton Warrior. The Golden Litter. A platform heaped with living gold, treasured and worshipped by hobgoblins. Summons hobgoblins. Disgorgent. Unattacked summon 1 gold wretch. I see. So, yeah, a pile of, like, living elemental gold that creates gold elementals. Yeah, the Withered Imp. Ice Beetles. Driven from the northern caves. And hobgoblins. Brawny Tunnel Raider wallows in shallow caverns of the tunnel lands, covets the mythical living gold. Spite. 100% damage against targets with full life. That's funny. Oh, guess they got him. Alright, let's see. Sacrifice the bear head. I believe the pendant takes my my head slot. I think. I don't remember. Ah, no, it takes a chest slot. Well, I don't need that. Noxious Dagger, don't need that. Don't need you either. And now the Ice Gloves. Bingo. Time to start summoning some ice. What we got? On dealing damage to an ally, deal blood damage to one enemy within 3 tile range. On self-damage... Okay, so this requires me to hurt myself and my friends. That's a no. Robe of Light. On dealing astral/fire damage, apply 5 blinds to enemies. This would be good if I was doing the Archmagus build again. Let's see, what do we got? Dealing death, poison damage, apply 1 evasion to yourself. Ice damage. Not really useful. Also, Storm Knights suck to fight. Like, they are annoyingly difficult. Mostly because they have penetration, which means any armor you're wearing is null. It doesn't matter. They just pierce through it. It's easier to fight them if you're going for like a dex dodge build. But I am not. I am going for a I stand still build. So if they somehow manage to get close to me or spawn right next to me, it's bad news. Plus, ultimately speaking, the treasure from both of these kind of sucks, so I'll just go with the one that's easier to deal with. Conscious Spire of Frost summoned by an Ice Shah. Attacks with ice damage at 4 range. Has a 10% chance to recover from harmful effects on game turn. I don't Yeah, I think these guys... Yeah, they can't move. They're just, like, sort of... sentry towers, effectively. They're useful at keeping things away from me. More of a novelty, really, than anything. I got so many things summoned. It's like, I have 8 minions summoned, and then I have 11 familiars. For a total of 19 different things. Dread Legion. Death Priests are taking a while to destroy. What's this on me? I have Doom? I guess those death guys must have been cursing me from a distance. Let's see. On standstill, fire damage to 5 enemies at any range. Neat. Fire is 5 times my willpower. And my willpower is 35, so 5 times 25. 5 times 3 is that, so that's 175? Yeah, that's 175. So that could be useful. It's more consistent damage than my ability, which is just, yeah, it's based on my block, but I don't necessarily have minions dying all that often. Because I've kind of made them to be, with how I've been built, my minions are kind of powerful. So, I mean, sure, if they die, I get to counterattack, and that's fine and all. They're just not dying fast enough to be better than this fire stick. So let's go for that. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah, I got divine intervention. Yeah, there was a mention there about apparently when an adjacent ally is damaged by an enemy, which I do have minions surrounding me, those little electric guys were zapping me from everywhere. Okay, so we're gonna take that off of just randomly boosting my willpower because if these electric dudes can just attack me from anywhere, that's a bit bad for me. Right, and if I choose to boost my vigor, this will boost my HP even more than normal, and the more HP I get, the more life my allies have. So, you know, I think I might hold off on my willpower for a little bit. And start vigor boosting to get some health maximizations going. Oh. Something died from me summoning all these things, and I leveled up, and it healed me instantly because I haven't set the vigor. I was confused for a second why that happened. I love how with this game you can build to just do nothing, and your enemies just completely get obliterated. You gotta get lucky though sometimes when it comes to your builds, because you could end up with crap items that don't help you whatsoever. But yeah, right, so it's 10% of my max life. So if I can get my life up to 2,000, that means they'll be getting 200 added to their life, which should be a good number, and I can start going to my, willpower. You know what? Nah, let's get my willpower to 40, and then I'll just keep it on vigor so that they get, health boosted like crazy. So yeah, I have a ruins here. This is nothing special. This is just like a normal map. But down here we have a crypt. So crypts and these other little things here, these are temples. And yeah, they're not like the towers where it's like a big dungeon. These temples, crypts are sort of special locations that only contain one floor to them, essentially. Have a lot of treasure, but also come with a powerful late game enemy that you normally should not be facing until way later. So it's very high risk, high reward, where you could go in there, but you could also get yourself completely murked. Like, with these things. So yeah, we have Frozen Aura, yeah. That's, not really anything, that's just damage. So yeah, this, yeah, Shockwave, so it attacks, it shoots out a Shockwave. The only damage in a line. Yeah, yeah, so on attack, attacks all other enemies within range, which is, not fun. And if I'm in range, it could be real bad. And of course, Achra attacks when an ally dies. Dog barking up a storm. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about trying to go for these things, because while it might not seem so bad, bad RNG can get you shredded by one of these things this early in the game. But let's see. You know what? I'm gonna jump in the gun here. Are any of the items actually good? Inflame's useless for me. Decent, but I don't think it's better than what I've got. Yeah, no, it's not. Not useful for me. Nope, nope. Nuh-uh. And I don't do Entangle, so I could just get... The only reason I would go for this is if I wanted to sacrifice all of these to boost my life. What about here? That has a shield, which is better than the shield I have right now, so that's actually good. Not useful. On heal, deal death damage to adjacent units, there won't be any. Other items, not so great, but the shield, I want that shield. This only summon seems equal to the amount of ants, right? Yeah. Now, how many ants do I have on the field right now? Only 2. Because I've only been summoning, I summon 1 every turn. And I do have charges of these, but not too many, because my ants are kind of being drowned out by, my other guys. So I guess I'm just gonna save this up until I hit, like, a final boss area. Alright, let's see. So I got this, which has a bunch of useless stuff, and also some Storm Knights, which I don't want to deal with. And this has pointless. Nope. Nope. Nuh-uh. And nuh-uh. So, not a whole lot of good, but some things to sacrifice, and despite the extensive amount of enemies that are here, none of them are Storm Knights. So... Oh me, oh my, oh boy, that's a lot. A lot of things that just got summoned. Alright, my willpower's hit 40. And start just going all out on Vigor now, I think. Chain reactions going on is crazy. I think I'm supposed to do things when I pray, but I don't... Never mind. Oh, wait, no, when I pray, I do Grave Chant, which hurts me and does the whole death damage around me, which is not necessarily useful all that much. Like, for the most part, it will just kill my own units. But I guess it's fine, because if I kill one of my units, it gets replaced by a cadaver. And I also do damage to things when my allies die, so, you know. That being said, I don't think I need to put any points into Grave Chant. It's not really that, it's not really that useful in the long term. I mean, I get the cadavers, but the cadavers don't really get any changes to them based on how many ranks I have in this, so it doesn't really matter. So you can see, I'll boost these to 5, and I guess once my Necrokinesis hits 5, I'll just start boosting Life Chance, because that does boost my my max healing, sorry, my max life, which is good because that transfers a portion of it to all my allies. And my healing gets boosted, which is good too, because I'm also healing my allies. the Fey partisan ambushes you. O mortal despoiler. Okay. And these guys sure are putting on a light show with their electricity. But it's not enough. And right, I didn't actually want it, so sacrifice them all. Alright, let's see. We've got Pillars of Salt, which will give me nothing particularly useful for me this build. No, I don't think I've seen a Brungle before. That's new. Huh. Or the Jeweled Crypt, which... Also not useful, but has these things, which are a little annoying to fight, so deal with the easier thing, since I'm gonna sacrifice the items anyways. They're not... Neither group of items is actually worth it for me, so it doesn't really matter. These things sure aren't just one-shotting everything, because I'm not boosting my willpower, but they are serving their purpose of being a massive wall of minions that stop me from taking any damage. Which is all I really need. So... Alright, what do we got? We got a Desert Ruin with an Ice Staff, which... not as good as my Fire Staff. Salt Pillars with a sword that doesn't matter, and the Temple with Pointless Axe, Fire Gloves, which applies... On attack, apply Scorch to the target, summon a Burning Blade. Flying Spirits of Fire that burn enemies, so... that actually could be better than my Ice Gloves. You know what? Yeah. Is there only the one? Only one guy? I mean, okay, he does have 5-digit HP, so he is tanky. Let's buff my use. You know what? Tanky schmanky. I guess it doesn't matter how much health you got, you're not gonna survive a barrage of arrows from my skeletons. Oh. Got my fire gloves now. Replacing my ice gloves. Alright, now I got the red. Pointless. 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 Rat banners are funny. I always like getting them. I'm gonna lose out on block because... yeah, of course I am. Which means I won't be doing so much damage when my things die, but my things aren't dying all that much anyways. I would rather be able to flood the map with even more stuff. Plus, those aren't useful, and neither are those. So let's go to the Red Tower. Oh my, new things. Horrid. Wild descendant of the violent beasts of Marduk. Okay, so they deal damage around them, but not able to get close enough to me. Zarat. They have penetration on them, that's... but thankfully they're not ranged, so it doesn't matter to me. Long legs. Does not seem like it, yeah, they're all melee things that can at most hit things in a AoE around them. But I don't think they can get close enough to me for that to happen. And so far, that assessment is proving quite true. Alrighty then. Necrokinesis goes up again. Oh, there was a new enemy on here. No wonder there was new sounds. Right, that was the sound of psychic damage happening. A mass of toggle worms joined in a common dream, venerated as a deity by wretched pilgrims of the salt waste. They summoned taggle worms. Segment broken from the corpus of the divine worm that slumbers beneath the desert of the gods, a dull and mind-destroying beast. So, powerful psychic worms that are kind of dumb. We at the boss fight yet? Not quite. There we go, there's treasure. Here we are. The Keliot emerges from the shadows. Oh, hunted one. I do not like how close I am to some of these things. Achra serpent. A massive serpent from the Dawn Marshes, unleashed by Keliots to exhaust their prey. Huh. So just melee guys who do poison. You, however, a reptilian hunter prince from the Dawn Marshes, descendant of the Keliot who overthrew the Serpent King. On entrance, summon 4 of those. Okay. So, if I walk around, he becomes more powerful. It's a good thing I stand still. And the Lizard King Prince, whatever, is dead. You know, this is useless to me, but it is better than the pants I'm wearing. Stat-wise, at least. There we go. So I've got my fire staff and my rat banner. Moving on, so we can go to the desert to get apply 5 sickness to 1 enemy at any range, deal poison damage to all enemies with sickness. What's this do? Deal death damage to the closest enemy. Damage equals 25 plus 25 times the number of allies. Oh, okay, yeah, no, this helmet's never coming off unless I find something truly amazing. Which is, none of that. And I should not be being attacked, so shrug off doesn't matter. I would like to be able to summon serpents, but I'm never going to be attacked for that to mean anything. Which, shrug off is not something I have been really paying attention to for this playthrough, but it basically means if you get hit but manage to take 0 damage because you have like too much arm or like an energy resistance sort of thing. Like if you manage to build up your fire resistance to like past 100% or something like that, and you get hit with fire, you're of course going to take no damage, and that means you shrugged it off. So I'll just go for the easier one here. All these items are sacrifice fodder anyways. Where are my rats? There's a rat. There we go. Is it only on entrance or... Oh, yeah, no, it's every turn. I get a rat and flourisher. What do they do? When they die, they summon the spear ratmen. Oh, I've got to change the background color. Oops. sacrifice all of those, and let's move on. Alright, so we've got the forest, which has psychic thing that's pointless to me. Useless sash, useless armor, useless sword. Here we have a useless staff, useless mask, and it summons cadavers, but it's not useful for me because I'm not close enough to the front line to take damage. Alright, so useless, 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 also useless, nope, and no, but it is a lot of stuff. And then there's a Firebird, which Firebirds are, if I remember correctly, Firebirds hurt quite a bit. However, I should be fine as long as I stay away. The only problem is it also buffs itself every time I summon something, so it's going to hit like a truck when it does hit. Thankfully, the stacks of its thing get removed by 50% when it gets hit, so I just need my minions to hit it faster. Oh no, why is it right next to me? Yeah, okay. My guys? Okay, good. It died before it could do some serious damage. Perfect, there we go. Pointless sword. Pointless rod. It just depends on which one I want to fight. These guys who do astral damage and have a short range, and this thing which has a high range and does fire damage. So that thing could actually hit me. These things, not so much. No, 27 minions. I'm getting real close to the point where I'm getting like over 30 minions on the screen. Alright, so right now I'm at the point where I'm just going to be leveling up life chance. It's just life chance, unfortunately, there we go. Takes a little bit to level up because it requires 5 points. Alright, so not so good weapons. Then a temple with these things. Okay, these are the bane of my existence, because, yeah, they have a range of 20. Yeah, they do pierce damage, and they do like these rapid fire things. They're like machine gun turrets, which is annoying. They have the snake thing. On prayer, summon 3 serpents. Which... ooh, that's really tempting. On kill / summon, deal poison damage in a... right, that's the other part. It does poison damage every time something gets summoned, but it does damage based on dexterity. So I could go for this and like swap out my fire staff, and I would be sacrificing damage for more summons. Hmm. You know, either way, that's a lot of items I can sacrifice. I'll do it. I'll double down. Let's get some more summons on top of our summons. And thankfully, it seems like, these monster things... That was a whole lot of back and forth counterattacks that just happened. These things do not have line of sight of me. If they did, I probably would have been dead and this would have been over. Alright, let's see. So... yeah, this... That's sacrifice. That as well. Yep. There we go. Now I add snakes to my repertoire of summoned little goobers. Alright, so another temple with more things. On game turn, if enemies live for each separate effect on self, summon a Jade Soldier. See, I'm noticing something. I have not been attacking, so my fire... Attacking apparently seems to indicate that I have to directly attack, not just hurt something. So... I have not been summoning any of these burning blade things. That being said... on an ally attacking an enemy, apply 2 doom to targets. So, if enemies live for each separate effect on me, I summon Jade Soldiers. So, I could get a thing that would apply an effect to myself later, like an ability. You know what? Screw it. That's actually pretty good, honestly. And there we go. That little summon goober just disintegrated from me summoning things. Alright, so yeah, let's swap those out. And sacrifice everything else, and is there a way to do something to me? I can do on you or an ally being dealt damage by an enemy, I hurt myself to apply repulsion to myself, which doesn't matter how many stats of repulsion I have, I would only be summoning one Jade Warrior a turn because it's only one effect that's on me. I would need an effect that isn't really harmful. Well, I could do this and apply repulsion to myself, and that guarantees that I always have something on me. Well, let's do that. Let's learn Psychokinesis so that that kicks in. Alright, so now we have the obelisk, the final dungeon of the land of Achra. Is there anything good in here? Plus 100 to summon allies on standstill, all gain plus 10% hit. Their damage goes up by 10%. Okay. Looks like I'm replacing those Jade bracers almost immediately. I would not like that this thing is so close to me. Oh, yep, see, there we go. We got a little Jade Soldier there now, who has, quite a lot of, HP. Why are my familiars all undead? Is that, like, from a ability I have that I just wasn't paying attention to? Huh. Oh man, the sound of the psychic damage is actually starting to give me some psychic damage with how much it's resonating in my ears. There are quite a few enemies near me. I'm not a fan of this. Oh, my Ratmen I summon aren't undead. I guess everything I'm summoning from abilities is considered undead. Alrighty. I don't like how some of these things are spawning real close to me. Too much psychic damage noises. Roll back, rise forth. Oh, pale bastard. Where is the boss? Oh, there he is. Oh dang, I've hit my limit on minions. Not familiars though, I could keep summoning more ants. But... Oh. Turning this RPG into an RTS at this point. Just life chance. Oh hey, I'm almost at 5,000 HP. Alright, as much as I like having the Jade things get summoned all the time, having my minions hit harder by a lot is way better. And here we are. We move on to the Shimmering Void. Up in, like, the astral plane, basically. Oh. So what do we got? We got, Mask of Frenzy, which doesn't matter, I don't do inflame stuff. On kill, deal astral damage and blood damage, and that's 2. On step, if enemies live, perform all standstill actions. Useful if I need to walk away from something. Which so far hasn't been a problem, but it's also not better than what I have on right now. Like, this is more of a case of just what's going to be easier for me to murk. Probably these things. I'm gonna fill up like every single square on this map. Let me double check. What's this deal? Right, okay, so it's plus 100 base damage just in general to all allies, and then goes up by 10. Their damage goes up by 10% every time I stand still. Okay. Well, not to sound cocky, but I think this playthrough is in the bag. Guess I'll probably just be doing one run, I guess. Bring myself a Necromancer victory. Alright, let's see. We've got this place, which has the Lapis Glaive, which is pointless to me. This, which is also pointless to me, and also has the Gold Demons, which are really silly looking, but man, do they hurt. They're like a gingerbread man, but made of gold. On summon, apply 1 agony to yourself. On ally attack, the ally deals astral damage to itself equal to 100% of its max life. You repeat the damage against the attacked unit. So this is going to cause my minions to die when they get hit at all, but is going to make me blast my enemies for their damage, effectively turning all of my minions into suicide bombers that blast their health back at the enemies, which they have a lot of health because I've been boosting their HP. That's tempting. What does Agony do? Effect, Agony. On being dealt damage, raise it to 2% of max life after other bonuses. Wait, hold on. On being dealt damage, raise it to 2% of max life after other bonuses. Does that mean every time I get hit, my max health increases? I'm a little confused by this. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I don't think I've experienced the Agony status before. Wait. Oh, so I'm applying Agony to myself, which is going to increase the damage dealt to myself when I get hit by 2% of my max HP. Huh. So I'm going to make myself more vulnerable to attacks in order to turn my minions into suicide bombers effectively. You know what? I think I'll grab it and do like a test run with it in this in like a next area or something. I do have plenty of prayers to keep myself alive through divine intervention. So it shouldn't be that bad. How much life do these things have? You know what? Yeah, no, these things are up in like the... aside from like the archers, these things are up in the upper thousands. replace the snake with that. No, I won't sacrifice. I'll hold off on sacrificing that until my test is over. Let's see, so we can go here, and there's the helmet, which doesn't matter. Or we can go into the Forbidden Trough to deal with these Fey things, and get stuff that's not useful to me, but I can sacrifice it for more HP. Did my agony loop or something? Oh, wait, no. It's because I leveled up, it removed... I leveled up and chose Vigor, which removes status elements, so it removed all of my agony from myself. I see. Alright, so it's on summon. So let's see how this plays out. Actually, I had to attack something myself there, because it got close to me. Yeah, okay, so... Ultimately, what I am learning from this experience so far is that having my minions be suicide bombers while they do a lot of damage is not as worthwhile compared to just having an army of guys. Or maybe not, because I don't think it actually mattered in the end. I can still fill the screen out anyways. I don't know. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so... Alright, they have to attack the enemy first for the whole thing to, happen. Probably like one more shot here. I think the problem here has more to do with the fact that there's a... Oh, these guys have a lot of HP. You know what? Yeah, okay, I cannot swap out until I'm done with these things. Okay. Alright. Yeah, no, I'm getting rid of that then. It's not all that useful. Yeah, okay, it's definitely way better to not have them suicide bomb, because a lot of these things seem to have multiple attacks that can hit pretty hard. And the fact that I'm boosting their attacks with McDonald's probably means their attacks are actually doing more damage than their suicide bombings are. So that's just better in general. 'The Banrian cracks her shimmering whip. Oh, mortal, thy filthy trampler. Huh? 560,000 HP, huh? Huh. Okay. Those sure are some numbers. Hey. Alright, let's see. We got useless stuff, and I just want to kill things to move on, I guess. That was fast. The final level, the Astrolith. We're gonna fight the King of Many Colors. There we go. I'll kill all these evil golden gingerbread men. Deal with all their really loud psychic damage. And this poison damage is very negligible. Man, this is quite the final battle going on. Except this isn't the final battle, they're not at the boss. There we go, that was a lot faster. Would I kill that final green demon there? There we go. The kingdom of new colors appear as disciples. Here's the final battle. He's got his minions, I've got my minions. Thank you. Now I need to get out of line of sight of this guy. Taking a while. Just gotta hang back and drown this guy in troops. Oh, geez, this guy's almost got 1,000,000 HP. I'm gonna move down here just so I don't bottleneck my own troops. very slow fight going on. Keep farming XP during this entire boss fight. Oh boy. Okay, is there something I can just grab that might be able to benefit me? Okay, I grabbed 3. Right, I can only max out at 3 different elements, I forgot. Um... Oh, let's invigorate my allies, I guess. Man, this would be going a lot faster if this guy wasn't constantly summoning more allies all the time. I mean, okay, I guess it's a little hypocritical. That's what I'm doing too, but... Oh well, I'm doing it better. Quantity over quality, I guess, on my part. Generally speaking, every time one of my allies dies, I'm doing damage, so it's something, but hundreds of thousands of HP, this is gonna take a while. Some of these skeletons are doing damage to him. Based on these sounds, I think the skeletons are kind of missing him a bunch. might as well just keep going with that. I keep healing myself every turn, so I'm gonna just keep attacking him. Definitely very annoying. It's definitely a case of I'm going to win eventually, but it's taking way too long. Wait, is this guy healing himself? On allied death, heal 10% of life. Increase max life. Oh boy. On attack, deal death damage to all enemies in a 3-tower range. On being attacked, apply doom to the attacker. On initial attack, or attack, extra attack against all other enemies in range. Okay. That's annoying, and he's healing himself and increasing his max health. That... Oh boy. What? Actually... Yeah, I believe I figured out what my problem is now. I need to just start boosting wisdom instead of health. Just... Sure, I'm giving them more health, but this guy shreds them no matter what, no matter how tanky they are. I need him to do more damage. Doesn't look like he can. Oh, he actually still can't see me from here. I see. Probably spawn right next to me. finally, but my strategy of getting close enough to have visual contact with him and rely on the fact that I would be surrounded by allies who would be taking hits, which would boost my second prayer, which would basically put me in an infinite divine intervention loop, has failed. I unfortunately doubled down a little too hard into health to make all my minions tankier and neglected their damage, which brought forth my demise. Oh well. Oh, struggler of rising Vim, seeker of the vile arts, thy death passes to legend on the glimmering path. Oh well. Yeah, that went on longer than I thought it would. So that'll be it for today's stream.